Hey guys, welcome to Just for Fun. This is Matt here on a Thursday afternoon. This is Charge Blast in Modern. This is a fun deck that was inspired by an opponent of mine in one of the previous videos. I just, expanded on their idea and took it a little further in a different direction. This is an Is It deck that has a strange mana engine. It's a control deck that plays a lot of planeswalkers. So it's a very fun deck to play. I really enjoy it a lot. And here's how the deck works. So we've got an interesting mana base here, blue and red lands, and we don't want fetch lands in this deck really, because we don't want to be taking a lot of damage from our lands. We do have Shivan Wraith, but 9 out of 10 times this is tapping for colorless. There's a lot of colorless mana required in this deck. Cataract is there to draw extra cards, as is Lighthouse. I find the way that I lose in this deck is I stabilize the board and then run out of cards, and I give opponent time to rebuild. So I could definitely see playing more than one Blighted Cataract in the deck. In fact, I think that's probably a good idea. This deck is still, even though it's somewhat complete, I would say this is an unfinished build. There's still things that could be tweaked and make this deck a little bit more streamlined. Things that I couldn't change in order for it to be the same deck is the mana engine, right? So Energy Chamber puts charge counters on artifacts. Cornucopia and Chalice tap for mana based on how many charge counters are on them. So you can actually effectively cast Chalice for 0, have Energy Chamber put the first counter on and get it going that way if you don't have, oh, that was good, enough mana open to play it that way yourself. So the longer the game goes, especially if you have more than one Energy Chamber, you start making ridiculous, obscene amounts of mana, hence Banefire. So that's kind of our primary win condition, is stall the game until we have 21 mana and then Banefire them to the face. And it's a lot easier to do than it sounds. So believe it or not, that's plan A. Plan B involves winning with this team of super friends over here. So because of this plan with the charge counters, I selected to have some cards with proliferate. So originally I had 4 of these contagion clasps, but then I found that they kind of suck in multiples. It's okay at putting counters on other things, but I'd rather just have anger to sweep the board. Plus, since we can search this up with Tezzeret, it's easier to get to. Originally I had 4 Tezzerets and I decided to trim it. I would probably play the second one over this Jace. I just wanted the symmetry of having all different planeswalkers in the deck, but you know what? I would do this right now. So that's how confident I am that Tezzeret, we should have that Tezzeret there. Now, basically how Proliferate works is you put a counter on anything that has a counter on it. So the Contagion class puts a net -1 counter on something so you can proliferate to kill it. So that's kind of like the gimmick of this card in and of itself. But Proliferate also works with charge counters to pump your mana even faster, and it works with loyalty counters on planeswalkers, so you can tick them up to ultimate faster or tick them down more freely without worrying about them getting killed. Volt Charge doing the same thing, Lightning Bolt plus Proliferate, good way to control the board and tick up your guys. Gambit digs and ticks everything up. Prism was just there. I could probably see cutting to, just there to make sure you can cast Anger and Jace and Tezzeret, your double color cards, because you're not playing that many colored sources of mana. But I haven't hardly ever run into a problem, so these could probably be something else, but they do dig you further into the deck, so I guess that's not too bad. Anger, like I said, they're to sweep the board. These are some one-ofs that you can search up with Tezzeret, so in a long drawn-out matchup, you don't want to draw your whole deck, and you want to get your threat cards back in there, so Elixir is pretty good for that. Sun Droplet, another way to gain life, and that works with charge counters, so you can put a charge counter on this with Energy Chamber, so you can gain life even if you haven't taken damage yet, so kind of cool there. Planeswalkers here. Ral, originally the deck was 4 Ral, 4 Tezzeret, because the untap ability, untapping a Chalice or a Cornucopia and generate ton of mana that way, that's still pretty good, and then the Bolt to control the board. But, you know, you play this, if they have 2 guys out, you bolt one and then it gets killed. So it's not the greatest anti-aggro, so kind of just leave one as a fun of. This is here to copy Banefire, or Anger, or Vault Charge, or whatever, and, you know, really speed up your kills. So this is another way to win faster. This is here to keep you alive and dig, alternating turns, to get to you know, the right sweeping condition or win con. Ugin is a sweeping condition and win con, and it just beats a lot of decks by itself, and, you know, being able to proliferate the counters makes the threat of ultimate very, very real. Tezzeret is another. This is a secondary win condition because you can search up artifacts and then just kill them with the ultimate, which is, it's not really that hard to do. Also, you know, like, you can minus X for 0, proliferate the turn it comes out, and the next turn -5 and kill them. So it is pretty sweet way to win the game. And also the untap, you can do that to turn your Bane firing. So there's a lot of little tricks, a lot of moving pieces, and it makes the deck really fun to play. I haven't fully built out the sideboard. I've figured Revokers against opposing control decks, Relic for graveyard shenanigans, and other Sun Droplet and a couple Pyroclasms against aggro. I ended up siding those in like every match, so maybe they should be main deck, I don't know. So again, this is a deck that could be worked on a lot. Really though, what impresses me is the mana engine in this deck. It's these 12 cards here, which could go in any color. So if you're playing a non-green deck and you want non-creature mana ramp, this is a way that you can do that pretty effectively. So I had a lot of fun with the deck. I hope you enjoy the matches, and you know, me blowing the crap out of people with Banefire. So yeah, peace.